Chapter 13, The Singing Box. "Well, Grandma, you've come," I said as I saw her coming quietly upstairs. "We've come," she grunted with a big smile on her face. "And how's Clever Queen this morning?" I asked. "All better, Thar," said Grandma as she pushed the mother forward to show us. The sores were indeed healing very quickly, and old Grandma was delighted when I said, "Oh, isn't that fine? Grandma, I think I can give you the medicine now and let you do it at home. Then you won't have to come to the dispensary every day. Do you think you can put the medicine on all right?" "Yes, and we'll bathe her every day, too. We're not afraid to bathe her any more when she has sores," she answered. And then, remembering that they had come early to see the strange little box, she added, "Thar, you remember you said that you'd show us the—" "Surely, so I did, Grandma," I answered. "Come on into the front room. Now first let me open it and show you all that there is in it." Of course you have guessed by this time that it was our phonograph. But you must remember that Grandma had never seen or heard a phonograph before, so I opened it and showed her the pile of records. "Now, Grandma, you feel one of these," I said. "That doesn't feel like a devil, now does it? You see, it is just a round piece of hard, flat rubber. See, here are some more." And I let them both feel and handle them, until they smiled at the very idea of being afraid of such a thing like that. "Huh!" grunted old Grandma. "Fancy anyone's being afraid. Of course, if it looked like a baby now, then we might be afraid," she added quickly, remembering suddenly the experience of Elaine's doll the day before. Then I showed her the works, and the spring, and the turntable going around and around. "You see, Grandma, there are no devils or spirits at all," I said. Then I tried to explain vibration and how sound was produced. But although Grandma looked wise, I was quite sure she began to doubt all that I had said when I explained that the record could reproduce those vibrations and make sound. "Now," I said, "this record was made while people were singing, so it must sing." I put the record in position, dropped the needle gently onto the record, and it began to sing. Poor Grandma! Speech was impossible. Her face turned pale. Her knees shook. She clutched frantically at Clever Queen's mother and began to retreat. "Oh, now don't be frightened, Grandma," I said. "It won't hurt you. Now listen, here is a band playing." Standing was at last impossible, but they had learned to believe us enough not to run away, as very many people had done when they heard the phonograph for the first time. So they just sat down, at a good distance, however, and as near to the door as they could be. "And now, Grandma, here is one you will enjoy. It is the visit to a farmyard, and you'll hear the ducks and the pigs and the dogs," I said as I put on another record. And you should have seen Grandma. As the beautiful music brought in the ducks quacking, the pigs grunting, and the dogs barking, she began to feel herself. And I said, "Grandma, what's the matter?" She said, "I don't know if it is real or if I am dreaming. Is it true?" She looked so puzzled and at last began to laugh. "Oh," she said, "he must be telling the truth, although I can't understand it a bit. But listen, there's a dog, and doctors don't eat dogs. No, doctors don't eat dogs. What he says must be true. Oh, indeed, the wisdom of the white man. Who ever heard tell of such things?" "Now, Grandma, how do you like that?" I asked. Now you're not afraid of it any more, are you? Listen, here is one singing your words, and I put on a Karen record. That convinced old Grandma. Oh, she said, that's the way the children sing in school. So it is, so it is. There's one to make you laugh, Grandma, I said, and I put on a laughing record. Oh, dear me, what fun we had. There was no more sitting down. Grandma got up and turned around and laughed until she cried. Oh, Thar, she said, oh, the wisdom of the white man. But she couldn't talk any more. As the record laughed and roared, Grandma held her sides and laughed and cried, till at last she called out, Thar, enough, enough! It will kill me, enough, enough! Ha! At last, she grunted, the ignorance of that woman who said it was devils. Ha! I'll tell them, and I'll bring her to see for herself. She kept her word. Grandma was always a frequent visitor at the mission house, and she always came with a company who wanted to hear the magical singing box, as they always called it. Here's the medicine, Grandma, I said after the treatment that day. Rub it on the sores after the bath each morning. Is it the same medicine that you put on each day? Asked the mother. Surely, I said, but she looked unconvinced. She looked at it and smelled it and then handed it back. It hasn't the rabbit picture on it, Thar. Please put a rabbit picture on it. At once I saw the point and pasted on one of the dispensary rabbit brand labels, and smiling they went away, promising to be back again the next week. Of course, you know there are thousands of people in towns and cities of Burma who ride on streetcars, talk through telephones, use cameras and phonographs, and understand everything the white men have and do. But this is the way the poor, ignorant devil worshippers from the jungle always act when they first get acquainted with the white people.